So it is my job, Mike, to introduce Sam. Okay, so Sam Richards is going to speak with us for the next 15 minutes or so. And Sam is currently the head of children and youth work for the United Reformed Church up and down the UK. But previous to that, Sam was the director of Oxford Youth Works and one of the founders of CYM. So has spent over 20 years, we said I would say, training children and youth workers. So I'm sure she has lots of wisdom to share with us. So thank you.
We've got 15 minutes. I'm going to crack on. I hope that's okay. I am going to get you to talk to the person next to you. So make sure, identify now who that's going to be. And you're literally going to have a minute, so that's 30 seconds each time I ask you to talk to the person next to you. So do be in pairs and not groups of 6, because I said turn to your neighbour or something, because it's just not going to work, okay? So we're all going to all need to be quite focused, but hopefully it'll be worth it. So let me tell you why you're here. I'm just going to share one of my most favourite Bible passages with you. I hope that's okay. This is the Message's take on Matthew 5:13 to 15. So literally 3 verses in 15 minutes. Let me tell you why you're here. Well, you're here because you got the email or the memo that we changed venue. So well done. You're here. Okay? You're here because God made you. God made you. Made you in his loving, living image, to be his co-worker, co-creator, co-liberator, co-renewer in the loving community, the kingdom that we're building together. You're here, because you've responded to the call to work with children and young people in some way, shape or form. You're here because your hearts have responded to God's heart for children and young people. You found that point of resonance between you and God, your place of missional discipleship, and that's brought you here today. And we're here because here is the most important place we can be, as in the present moment. Here and now is the most important place we can be. It's where it all starts. God creates a place in time before he creates people to be there. Yeah, we're embodied spirits and we need to be somewhere. All prayer starts with, "Here I am." We might not say those words, but in fact, that's the beginning of any prayer, is either God calling us and us responding, "Here I am," or us taking that moment, being in the moment, being here with God, "Here I am," and starting to listen or talk. And the present moment, the here, is where God chooses to meet us, not in the past, not in the future. The present moment, the here, is where God's world and our world intersects. That's where the kingdom can come, in the here. It's holy ground here. And here and now is also the most precious place where we are with children and young people. It's about being present to them, being present with them, creating moments of utter presence where we are here and they are here and God is here. And that's the moment of encounter. So what happens when we're here? Let me tell you why you're here. No? You're here to be salt seasoning that brings out the God flavours of this earth. Now, I just love this language. I love this rendering of this passage, yeah. You're here to be salt seasoning that brings out the God flavours of the earth. So, this is your first 1 minute. Turn to that identified partner Share with your neighbour a time that you have helped bring out, that you've helped children and young people taste something of God, or taste and see that God is good, if that's an easier metaphor for you to get your heads around, okay? You've got a minute starting now, and I'm timing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Okay, and I need your attention. I know you're all having lovely, wonderful conversations now, but I need you to stop. So I talked before about why we're here and the importance of being present in that mutual encounter. So I'm going to give you another minute to talk to your neighbour about a time when a child or young person has helped you taste God anew in some way. Go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Okay, again, I'm going to rudely interrupt those fabulous conversations. Now salt has an edge to it. It cleanses and disinfects. My granny always used to tell me to gargle with salt if I ever complained about having a cold or a cough or anything. I know, horrible. And we talk about salt being rubbed in wounds as something that hurts, that aggravates. So there's part of being salt and bringing out God flavours that's about being prophetic. And here and now is a difficult time for our children and young people to be growing up in. We're in a point of flux in terms of culture and the world, a point of crisis, if you like. Everything is shifting. Certainties are dissolving. Even things that in the past seemed like fixities around identity, things like gender, sexuality, are just all becoming more fluid. Things are dissolving. Certainties are dissolving. Anchors are disappearing. Polar ice caps are melting. Faith in institutions and organisations are melting. Faith in science. Do you know what I mean? All sorts of things. It's all changing. And surprise, surprise, children and young people are showing the symptoms of this period of flux, this everything melting around them and dissolving. Symptoms of distress, of anxiety, of anger, of rage, of rebellion. Eugene Peterson talks about young people's spirituality as being a bit like the canary down the mine. And we just need to watch what our children and young people are finding toxic will kill us all in time. They're just the first to be affected by the poisonous nature of the air. So we need to make sure that we don't lose our saltiness, that we continue to be a voice for children and young people, that we don't let this distress go unnoticed, unheard, that we tend to it, but we also draw attention to it. Gonna click for me? Here's another way to put it. You're here to be light, bringing out the God colours in the world. You know what's coming next? Okay, 1 minute. Share with your neighbour a time you've helped children and young people see themselves through God's eyes, where you've drawn out some God colours in them. Go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Okay, you know where the next thing's going as well. So this is about being present to one another, to God, the mutual moment. So you're going to have another minute to talk to your neighbour. Share a time when a child or young person has helped you to discover a God colour in the world. Go. So the passage continues. God's not a secret to be kept. We're going public with this. as public as a city on a hill. And the next one. If I make you light bearers, you don't think I'm going to hide you under a bucket, do you? I'm putting you on a light stand. And now that I've put you there, on a hilltop, on a light stand, shine. Light attracts, light brings life. Jesus is the light of the world, and he calls us to be lights in the world too. Let me tell you why you're here. To bring out the God flavours, to bring out the God colours, to shine. Keep open house. Be generous with your lives. That's how the passage continues. At heart, it's very simple. It's all about relationships. You know that. That's what counts. That's what matters. It's all about relationships, about being here, present with children and young people, present with God, present to ourselves, and being generous within that. Giving your time and attention, listening, sharing your life, loving them, being present. The passage continues, by opening up to others, you'll prompt people to open up with God, this generous Father in heaven. Children and young people will gift you new God flavours and new God colours, and you will see them shine. You will see them be generous with their lives and enable others to be open with God, if you remember why you're here. No, 2 foot, 1, 2 foot. Let me tell you why you're here. To bring out the God flavours, to bring out the God colours, to shine. This is the good news. It's good news to our children and young people. It's good news to us. So go and shine.